That's why I do mute you guys. So we'll go ahead and find our seated mountain pose, our home base. So sitting slightly forward in the chair, grounding down through the feet and the legs. Weight is evenly distributed through the hips and gently engaging the core to help support the spine. Shoulders are back, chest is upright. And we'll take just a moment, as usual, to ground and prepare ourselves. So if you'd like, if it's comfortable, you can close your eyes, or if not, just focus on a spot in front of you. And begin to shift your focus inwards, letting go of anything that's happened in your day so far. And not thinking about anything else that's going to happen later, just being present here and now. Settling into the rhythm of your breath that moves in and out through the nose. And if it's comfortable, maybe bringing one hand to rest over your heart and the other hand resting over the belly. And we'll take a few deep breaths. So feeling the breath as you inhale, fill the belly, sliding up through the rib cage and into the chest, feeling your hands move as the breath fills your body. And then exhaling fully down through the rib cage and then drawing the navel towards the spine. Squeeze out all that air. And then just breathing like that on your own. And throughout this practice, I'll cue the breath, but it's important to go with your own rhythm. So that might not be the same as mine. So we don't ever want to be holding our breath or forcing it. And so sometimes that might mean that we're not in sync with our movements, but that's perfectly okay. So just taking a couple more of those deeper breaths, filling the belly, the rib cage, and the chest. And then when you're ready, just returning back to the natural rhythm of your breath. And maybe bringing your bottom hand to rest on top of your top hand. Giving yourself a little love, a little compassion. And maybe taking a moment to set an intention or a goal for today's practice. Be something you'd like to focus on or cultivate. And giving yourself permission to listen to your body and just remembering that everything is optional. And so we'll go through several different options for each pose. So find the one that's right for you, or if none of them feel right, you can just do something else that does feel good. And when you're ready, letting the hands release, resting down onto your thighs, letting the eyes flutter back open. So our warm-up today is going to be a little bit different. I'm trying to shake things up a little bit. So we're going to move through the 6 movements of the spine. So forward bending, backward bending, side bending to the right, side bending to the left, and twisting to the right and twisting to the left. And then we'll still get into our neck and shoulders and all that after we're finished. So we'll begin with our cat and cow, the familiar ones. So making sure you're kind of up forward in the chair. And we'll take an inhale. And then on your next exhale, sliding the hands up towards the knees and rounding the spine towards the back of the chair. And then on your next inhale, the hands slide back towards the body, chest opens and the gaze lifts. So this is our forward and backward bending of the spine. And we'll just move back and forth, letting your breath set your pace. And these are good movements to do anytime you need to just loosen up a little bit. We'll do this just once more, the cat and cow. And then returning back up to a neutral spine. Now we'll come into our side bend. So letting the right hand drop down and maybe grabbing the chair or coming onto your hip. And we'll inhale to lift the left arm and then exhale, bending over to the right. And we'll flow in and out. So inhaling back up to center. And then exhaling, bending. And just letting the movements flow with the breath. Feeling the spine, back body continue to loosen up. And keeping the chest open to the front. And then now the next time that we bend over to the side, if it's comfortable, we'll hold here just for a few breaths. Feeling that openness in the front of your body and the stretch along the left side of the body. And breathing fully into the chest. And on your next inhale, rising back up and then releasing as you exhale. And switching sides, so grabbing the chair with the left hand. Inhale up with the right hand. And then exhale, bending to the side. And flowing in and out. And I should have mentioned, if it's not comfortable for your arm to be totally extended, you can always make more of like a wing position with the arm. It's the spinal movement that we're really going for. And we were talking about frozen shoulder the other day, so that can sometimes inhibit the extension of the arm. And the next time we bend to the side, maybe holding here for a few breaths. Breathing into that openness on the right side this time. And keeping the chest open towards your camera. And on your next inhale, rising back up. And exhale, releasing the arm. Maybe giving the arms a little shake. And so now our last final movements are twists. So we'll do a little bit of a dynamic flow here as well. So on the inhale, arms will rise up by the ears. And then exhale, twisting to the right. So left arm comes to right knee. And then we'll inhale back up to center. And then twisting, bringing right arm to left knee. So it doesn't really matter exactly how you do it, just so long as we're moving in and out of this twisting motion. And since we're just warming up, we don't need to twist that far. So just beginning to get this twisting movement going. And then the next time we twist to the right, we'll maybe hold here for a few breaths. And so the right hand can either be grabbing onto the back of the chair, maybe guiding you a little bit deeper into the twist, or just hanging down by the side or on the hip. And we'll just breathe here. And your gaze can be wherever it's comfortable. So over one shoulder or the other, or straight out in front of you, just whatever is most comfortable for your neck. And then the next time you inhale, we'll rise the arms back up. And then we'll exhale, twisting over to the left and hold here. And then when you're ready, unwinding from the twist and coming back to the center. So this is, we'll move into the head and neck now. And this is an exercise we did last time, 2 weeks ago. It's a little bit different than some of the stretches we've done before. So we'll drop the right ear towards the right shoulder. And then from here, moving with the inhales and exhales, we'll inhale, lifting the chin up. So the head's still at an angle, but we're lifting the head. And then exhale, drawing the chin closer into the chest. And then moving with the breath. There's just a little bit of a different kind of a stretch movement in the neck. And then we'll return to that ear to shoulder position. And then if you like, maybe cradling the head with the hand and maybe letting that left arm hang down, getting a deeper stretch in the left side. And we'll release, coming back to center, and we'll switch sides. So dropping the left ear towards the left shoulder. And then just inhaling, lifting the chin, and exhale, lowering. And then when you're ready, coming into that hold, so ear towards shoulder, and then maybe cradling the head and letting the opposite arm hang down. And making sure to breathe. And releasing the arm. And now we'll just roll the head from shoulder to shoulder. And if your neck is happy with it, you can rotate all the way around, or just keep going from shoulder to shoulder. But if you do that full rotation, just make sure to go back in the other direction as well. Keep ourselves balanced. And then coming back to the center. And moving into our jaw and face. So just circling the jaw. The place I personally hold a lot of tension, so it's always good to loosen that area up a little bit. And then next time you inhale, we'll contract all the muscles of the face as we lift the shoulders. So inhale, making a prune face and lifting the shoulders up toward the ears. And then we'll exhale, sighing out through the mouth and releasing all that tension. We'll do that a couple more times. Inhale, contracting. And exhale, sighing it all out, relaxing everything. And once more. And letting it all out. So now extending the arms forwards out in front of you. We'll just flex and bend the wrists. And then opening and closing the fingers. So extending the fingers and then making a fist. And then clasping the hands together and just rolling out the wrists in any motion that feels good. And back in the other direction if you're going in a circle. And then just giving your hands a little shake. Now we'll bring the tips of the fingers up to the tips of the shoulders and the elbows are out. We'll take an inhale here, and then as you exhale, we'll bring the elbows towards each other. And then back out on the inhale and just moving back and forth. And if you'd like to involve the head as well, you can look down on the exhale, bringing the chin towards the chest, and then up on the inhale. So that's optional. Just do that a few more times. And then the next time your arms open, we'll stay here and we'll roll out the shoulders one at a time. And starting to invite some movement in the torso as well. And then we'll switch directions, rowing forwards this time. And then when you're ready, releasing Releasing the hands down by the side. And we'll do a little bit of an energizing breath flow now. So on an inhale, the arms will lift straight up forward, so arms by the ears. And then on the exhale, we'll flip the palms out and float the arms down to the sides. And then we'll reverse it. So time we'll flip the palms out and inhale, sweeping the arms up to the side. And then exhale, bringing the arms down in front. So we'll flow through that a few times. Inhale, arms come straight up. Exhale, palms flip, arms float down by the sides. On the next inhale, sweeping the arms up and out to the side. And then exhale, floating them down to the front. Let's do that about 2 more times, just moving with your own breath. And then once more, letting the arms sweep out to the side. And then floating down forward. And so we'll come now into a seated eagle. And so the legs are optional, but if you'd like to do the legs, if it's available to you, we'll cross the right leg over the left. So if that's not comfortable, we'll just do the arms. Then we'll send the arms out to a T. And then give yourself a bear hug, letting the right arm cross under the left arm. So the right leg is over, right arm is under. I always get that mixed up. And you can stay here in this bear hug position, or you can move to the traditional eagle arms. So letting the arms twist and the palms working their way together. Either way, we're opening up the shoulders and upper back. So I would invite you to bring your mind to that space between the shoulders, and try and direct your breath and energy there. And if your legs are crossed, maybe engaging your quad muscles as well. So we're just really nice and tight through the core of the body. It's a great pose for building focus. One more deep breath here. And then on the exhale, we'll release the arms and uncross the legs. And we'll do just a few rounds of hip circles before we move to the other side. So hands are resting on the thighs, and we'll just shift the weight from hip to hip, moving the torso and spine in a circular motion. And then back in the other direction. And then when you've had enough, releasing and coming back to seated mountain. And we'll come into our eagle on the other side. So there's the option to cross the legs. So this time we're crossing the left leg over the right leg. Then we'll send the arms out. And this time the left arm crosses under the right arm. And so staying here in the bear hug, or maybe crossing the arms, working towards eagle arms. This side never feels as good to me because of my port, so I am staying here in the bear hug. And once again, thinking about breathing into the space between the shoulder blades and the upper back area. I'm zipping up the core, engaging the quads. And then when you're ready, releasing the arms and then uncrossing the legs. And so from here, maybe grabbing onto the chair to give yourself a little more stability. We're just going to heel toe the feet out and in. So we're working on starting to loosen up the hips. And it doesn't have to be fast, it can be very slow. And then the next time your feet come in, we're going to walk them in as far as they'll go. So maybe even the insides of your feet are touching. And then we'll let the legs butterfly out and then come back together and just letting them move in and out, opening in the inner thighs and the hips. And then bringing the legs back together and then walking the feet back out to about hip distance apart. And so now I'm going to slide my chair back a little so you can see my feet, or maybe see my feet. And to stretch out our feet and ankles, if it's comfortable, if it's not, just roll your feet normally. We're going to curl the toes up under the foot, starting with the right leg, and just roll out the ankle. So we're getting a little toe workout too. Again, if that's not comfortable, feel free to just roll out your ankle any old way. Getting in a little toe yoga, toga. And then back in the other direction if you haven't already. And then switching sides. Toes curled under and just rolling out the ankle. And back in the other direction. And then releasing that movement. I'm going to slide back forward again. So I'm a little closer to you. And we'll come now into our goddess pose. So sitting slightly forward in the chair. And we'll walk the feet out as wide as is comfortable. And the feet are turned out about a 45-degree angle, like 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock. And then we'll lift our goddess arms. So these are just like goalpost arms. They're bending at the elbows and the fingers spread wide. And from here, we'll do a little twisting in goddess. I think we did this last time too. So we'll inhale here in the center. And then exhale, just twisting the torso and upper body slightly to the right. Inhaling back to center and then twisting to the left. And then flowing with your own breath. And you don't have to twist too far. Just, again, loosening everything up. And then when you're ready, coming back to that goddess in the center. And you can release the hands. So we'll come into our extended side angle pose. So another chest opener, shoulder opener. So from here in our goddess pose, we'll come down, letting the right elbow come down onto the right leg. And then you can stay right here if this is where you're at. If you'd like to extend the left arm up towards the sky, a little more openness in the chest, you can do that. If you feel like you need even more openness, you can bend that arm behind you, coming to rest on the back of your thigh, and I'll spin around so you can see what I'm doing there. So just wherever you are, finding some kind of openness in the front of the body. Maybe feeling a line of energy coursing through that side of your body. And then when you're ready, you're unwinding your arm, releasing it, and coming back up to center, recentering yourself. And we'll switch sides. So coming down this time onto the left forearm. And then finding your options. So maybe lifting the arm, maybe taking that bind position, a little bit more of a shoulder stretch. And often what feels good or better on one side doesn't work on the other side. So it's all about experimenting and finding what feels best for you in this moment. And then when you're ready, release the arms and come back up to center. And we'll walk the feet back about hip distance apart and resetting in our seated mountain pose. And from here, we'll take a half forward fold with the option for a all the way forward fold. So taking an inhale here, as you exhale, coming down onto the forearms resting on the thighs. And then I like this option of touching the tips of the fingers to each other. And it's an option if it doesn't feel right to you. Feel free to do whatever feels good. And in this position, you might notice that we're stretching the lower back, the lower spine. So like in the eagle pose where we thought about directing our breath into the upper back, now you can think about breathing into the lower back. And if it's comfortable, accessible for you, you can feel free to round the spine and letting yourself hang over the legs. folding all the way forward, but only if your low back is okay with it. And from whatever position you're in, beginning to walk back up, finding once again our seated mountain. So I think we have time for a few half sun salutations, so chair sun salutations, before we move on to our seated and standing poses. So we've done this before. We'll bring the hands, palms together, resting in front of the heart, and we'll try to let the movement flow with our breath as we move through this little sequence. So as you inhale, the arms sweep up and out to the side. The palms meet above your head. And then as you exhale, we'll swan dive, hinging forward and coming into either a half forward fold or a full forward fold. And on the next inhale, we'll reverse swan dive, so sweeping the arms out to the side, palms meeting back above the head, and then exhale, bringing the hands back to rest in front of your heart. So that's the flow. We'll move through that a few more times, and again, using your own breath as your guide. So beginning to inhale, arms sweep up, and maybe your gaze lifts, maybe even a slight back bend here. And then folding forward, either halfway or all the way. Inhaling back up, arms sweep up and around to the sides. Palms meet again above the head, and then bring it all back down to center. We'll do that about 2 more times. So inhaling all the way up. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, arms sweep out and up. And then exhale, back to heart center. And then last time, flowing, inhaling, arms come up. Exhale, folding forward. Inhaling, arms sweep back up. Palms meet. And then exhaling, hands come back to your heart. And releasing the hands back down to the thighs. Now, I have for you a couple of options for these next poses. These are the ones I mentioned where we can do it seated or standing using the support of the chair. So first, I will demonstrate this pose seated and then standing. So you may want to just watch, and then we can do it all together, whichever option you choose. So you're not sitting there holding the pose for ages. So first, we'll do a pyramid pose. So we're going to extend, and maybe I should move the chair back a little so you can see my feet again. I'm going to extend, seated forward in the chair, extending the right foot out, and the toes are up. So your foot is resting on the heel. So we're stretching out the hamstring here. We'll bring the hands to heart center and let the elbows come up and out. So we're also getting a nice stretch on the upper back there. And then we'll hinge forward over that leg. So feeling that stretch in the right hamstring. So that's the seated version. For the standing version, I'm going to spin my chair around to the side so you can see. So I'm standing with the seat of the chair facing towards me. And I'm going to step back with the left foot, so the right foot is in front. Bring my hands to prayer position. And then hinging forward this time. And then my hands can either come to the top of the chair, or if you're feeling extra stretchy today, you could come to the seat of the chair. So those are the two options we have. So finding your option for pyramid. So again, if you're standing, my feet are maybe about 3 feet apart, but you'll want to find whatever position feels good for you. And your front foot should be pretty close into the chair so that you're not having to reach too far to grab it. So hands are in a prayer position, or you can keep them right on the chair. And we'll begin to hinge forward. The back stays flat, and we can either grab onto the top of the chair or let the palms come to the bottom of the chair. So we should be feeling a stretch in that right hamstring. And then when you're ready, walking the hands back up and gently rising back up. And so we'll switch legs, so stepping the right leg back and left leg forward. And we'll repeat that on the other side. And so I'll demonstrate the seated version again, but feel free to move right into the standing version. So arms in prayer and hinging forward. And so from seated, we're extending the left leg out in front. And so sitting pretty far forward in the chair. The foot is flexed, the toes are lifted. And then we'll just hinge forward with hands in prayer position, feeling that stretch in the left hamstring. And breathing into that space. And then when you're ready, just gently and slowly rising back up to seated or standing. And from here, those of you who are standing can stay standing, and I'll demonstrate the next pose seated and then move to standing. So we're going to do a downward facing dog modified with the chair. So if you choose to be seated, again, sitting forward in the chair, both legs are extended and the feet are flexed. We'll inhale, lifting the arms up, so palms are facing towards the front. And then as you exhale, hinging forward, making kind of a V shape with your body. So if you've ever seen someone do a downward facing dog on the floor, it's kind of making the same exact shape with the body. And then We'll rise back up and release the arms and release the legs. Now the standing version, and this is something I like to do this at all times of the day with different pieces of furniture. It's just a nice stretch for the back and shoulders. So standing up towards the seat of the chair, and you can choose, maybe start with the hands resting on the top of the chair. And we'll just start to walk the feet backwards, taking it nice and slow, and then stopping when you start to feel an appropriate amount of stretch. And so the legs are straight, but a little micro bend in the knee is always okay. Even more than a micro bend is fine too. So we're getting that stretch in the shoulders and hamstrings, same like in the chair. And it's also an option to have your hands in the seat of the chair. But like I said, this is something I like to do a lot, just using the counter or whatever to stretch out my shoulders. And then from standing, walking the feet back in towards the chair. And then very gently rolling up one vertebra at a time. And then whether you're seated or standing, clasping the hands behind the back, opening the chest and shoulders and taking a few breaths here. And then releasing, and we'll try that once more. So either seated or standing. And finding your downward facing dog. So from standing, grabbing onto either the back or the seat of the chair, walking the feet back and stretching out the shoulders, spine, and hamstrings. And if you're in your chair, sitting forward, lifting up through the arms, and then hinging the body forward. And we don't want to bend too far, just enough to make a nice V shape. You don't want to bend so far that you're falling forward. Just so we're feeling a nice openness in the shoulders and the back of the body. And then from wherever you are, releasing, coming back up. And then we'll find ourselves back in the chair. So making your way back into the chair. And once you're there, we'll take a few more of those cat and cow movements. So sitting up forward in the chair. We'll inhale, facing forward, and then exhale, rounding the spine towards the back of the chair. Inhale, back, arching the spine, hands slide toward the body, and then flowing back and forth. And we'll do that once more. And then returning back to our seated mountain. And so from here, we'll come into our seated pigeon. So again, we have, as always, some options for this. So the foot can either be extended out in front of you on the floor. So we'll start with the right foot. And then rolling out onto the outer edge of the right foot. So just like opening the hip, the knees facing to the side. Or if you'd like a little bit more of a hip opener, you can grab onto the foot, crossing it over the left leg. So just finding whichever one feels better for you today. We'll bring the hands to the hips. Take a deep breath in, and then as you exhale, just hinging forward with a flat back. Holding only until you start to feel that stretch in the outer hip. And breathing wherever you are. And on your next inhale, rising back up. And then helping your foot down if it's crossed. And we'll switch sides. Extending the left foot, maybe rolling out onto the outer edge. I'll do this option on this side. Or picking up the foot and crossing it over the opposite knee. And the hands come to the hips. We'll inhale to lengthen, and then exhale, folding forwards. And then when you're ready on your next inhale, rising back, coming up to seated position. We'll release the foot. Finding seated mountain once again. And now we'll do a little exercise, the last physical exercise to build some focus before we move into our closing meditation. So we'll take the left hand and bring it up to the side, bending at the elbow, almost like you're holding a mirror in front of your face. And look into your palm as though you're looking into a mirror. And we'll inhale here. And as you exhale, begin to move the hand coming across your body, keeping the focus on your hand. And then letting your hand come to rest on your opposite shoulder. And then we'll inhale, moving back in the other direction, so holding up that mirror. And then exhaling, coming back to the other side. Giving yourself a little pat on the shoulder. And then once more, keeping the focus on the palm of your hand as the arm comes out. And then letting the arm release down by your side. We'll switch sides now. So this time, lifting the right hand, holding up that mirror. Taking an inhale here. And then as you exhale, moving the arm across the body, looking into that mirror, and then bringing your hand to rest on the shoulder. And then inhaling, moving back to the other side. And then once more. The hand comes to the shoulder. And then once more, following the hand as it moves out to the side. And then letting the arm relax.
More.
We'll take an inhale and contract the facial muscles once again. So inhaling, contract, raising the shoulders, and exhale, sighing it out. And we'll do that 2 more times. Inhale to contract. And then exhale, relax. And 1 more time. And that brings us to the end of our yoga practice. I have about a 10-minute guided meditation. If you're able to stay for that, that's great. Or if you need to jump off and go about your day, that's fine too. I like to give you the option. So if you would like to stay, I'd invite you to find a comfortable position in your chair, a place where you can be relaxed but also aware. So something that's comfortable for the next 10 minutes or so. And once you've found that comfortable seat, maybe letting your eyes close or softening your focus. And beginning once again to draw your focus inwards. And bringing your focus to your natural breath. Feeling the expansion of the chest and the belly as you inhale and exhale. We don't need to control or exert any effort as we breathe. Just really tuning into the rhythm of the breath in and out. Feeling that life force move throughout your body. Your mind may wander during this practice, and that's perfectly natural. Nothing to fight or worry about. Your subconscious will hear everything you need to. But if you find yourself becoming distracted by thoughts, you can simply draw your focus gently back to the rhythm of your breath as it moves in and out through your nose. So expanding your awareness from your breath into your body. Scanning the body, starting at your feet. You're saying silently to yourself, I am aware of my toes, my feet, my ankles, my shins, my knees, my thighs, my hips, my pelvis, my abdomen, chest, shoulders, upper arms, lower arms, wrists, hands, fingers, elbows, tops of my shoulders, my throat, my face, my ears, the top of my head, the back of my head, the neck, shoulder blades, upper back, lower back, hips, backs of my thighs, backs of the knees, calves, heels, soles of my feet, and my whole body. Feel your whole body in complete awareness, noticing what sensations come and go without judgment. Being fully present and aware of your whole body. And now begin to activate your imagination. Imagine that you're sitting in a comfortable chair in front of a very large movie screen. You see images begin to appear on the screen, and you begin to see your life exactly as you wish it to be. So you're watching a movie of the life that you desire. See the people, the places, the environment. Notice the activities that are happening. See the people, the friends and family that surround you. Notice what you're wearing, your surroundings, your home. Notice what you're doing and who you're with. Notice where you are and all the variety of experiences that move across the screen in this movie of your perfect life. Now begin to feel yourself in this movie. So it's no longer a movie. It is now, it's real. Feel how it feels to be living this life that you desire. Soak it all in. Experience the sights as they interact with you. Feel through your body the sensations of the wide variety of emotions as you live your dreams right now. Notice the tastes and the flavors, all the sounds that surround you. Hear the conversations, the sounds of nature and the environment around you. Inhale deeply, noticing all the scents that are present. Engage in this environment, touching and feeling until your whole being is enveloped in vibration of your ideal life happening now. Feel what it feels like in your body to be living this life that you desire, allowing yourself to bathe in the experience, creating it and feeling it into being, trusting and knowing it's happening now, and enjoying the experience. And as you relax in this state of being, in your mind, repeat this intention. I am living the life I desire. I radiate health and happiness. I'm living the life I desire. I radiate health and happiness. I am living the life I desire. I radiate health and happiness. We'll slowly begin to come back, be deepening the breath, or gently moving the body, maybe wiggling the fingers and toes, making any movement that feel good as we come out of this meditative state. And when you're ready, bringing your palms together to rest in front of your heart, and taking a moment to give thanks to yourself for taking this time for yoga and meditation, and maybe sending out gratitude to the others in this virtual group who are practicing together. I wish you all a wonderful day. Namaste.